Hi everybody, it's me, Corey T, and in this video I want to talk to you about things that I would say to my younger self about wanting to be with my specific person and then manifesting my specific person. And just before I've recorded this video, I was writing down in my phone a list of things that I wanted to say in this video, and I just burst into tears. I literally just bawled my eyes out because one of the main things that came up was how unworthy I felt, how so in pain I was years ago, chasing, wanting, needing, missing my specific person. And, this was back before I actually knew about manifesting. And what really kind of got me was I remembered being in my old house in Brighton, and it was my birthday, and the only person that I wanted to speak to was him. The only person that I wanted to hear from that really seemed to matter to me was him. And it was sad because my mum and my brother had come down to Brighton to be with me on that day, and I just couldn't enjoy it. I was so sad. And I just remember this awful pain that I was in at the beginning of that journey of meeting him, and the hot and cold behaviour, and just not understanding, and just thinking about it all the time and missing him, and it was painful. So one thing that I wanted to say to myself was, first of all, the thing that really made me feel really emotional was just how unworthy I felt I was, when the truth was that I wasn't, and his behaviour was never about my worth. And I think on some level I was equating his behaviour to my worth. I didn't realise that I was doing that. And it was so intense. So I'd say to myself, his hot and cold behaviour, the way that he's being, literally has nothing to do with your worth. And I would be kinder to myself, and I'd stop blaming myself. I'd stop questioning what I said, what I did, if he was thinking about me, what it all means, because I know now how worthy I am and how I've always been worthy with or without him. And him seeing me and being with me really had absolutely nothing to do with that. But I was projecting my unworthiness onto him. The other thing that I would say to myself, looking back, is that I hadn't really ever had, at that point, I'd never had a long-term relationship or anything that was remotely kind of long-term at all. It was always just little flings with people here and there that always just came to nothing. And I think that was partly because I really didn't have a model of what healthy love looked like. I didn't know what to expect. And so, with my upbringing and my parents having broken up when I was young, and my dad was away a lot and all sorts of things, really, I guess I just expected and accepted very little when it came to romantic relationships. And I didn't realise that my worth and my expectations of love were kind of playing into each other. And so I was accepting so little from love and thinking that that was normal, and thinking that I had to do something to prove that I was lovable and worthy of this love. And that was the pattern and the feeling that I was playing out in that situation, particularly with my specific person, and really with every guy that I'd ever actually liked. And so it was like a perpetual cycle of thinking that I had to do something in order to be loved. So I would say to myself, expect more from guys, expect more in relationships, because I'm worthy of that. And look at healthy models of love. So I can see how those two things were kind of playing into each other and making it very difficult for me to see that I was worthy and I could expect more. And that's why I was accepting breadcrumbs and still chasing and still hoping and wishing. I felt like I had to prove to him, especially, that I was worthy of his love. I mean, that was like the main story in my body. I had to do something in order to be loved, otherwise I wouldn't be seen. So another thing that I would say to myself is that I'm good enough exactly as I am, and there's nothing I need to do to prove it. Literally nothing. I don't have to be different. And also, I would say, don't try and explain yourself to him. Don't explain yourself. Don't explain your emotions. Don't try and get him to understand, because that's all over explaining, people pleasing, all of that stuff. I didn't need to do any of that, because that was mine to hold, and he wasn't the one that was supposed to understand it more than me. I used to send these like really, really long texts to him about my feelings and basically try and almost convince him that I was the right one for him. And I would say to myself, don't do that. Don't send the long text. You know, although in some ways, actually, I can see that doing it helped me to get it off my chest and to just say it. But it wasn't, you know, I would do it with the intention of hoping that he would reply and see me. But actually what I got out of it was that I was able to release that. But I didn't get what I wanted, what I thought I wanted, which was him to see me and reply and say, oh, I see you, validate my feelings and stuff. I think knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't have sent those like massive, huge text messages. I put so much effort into that connection at the beginning, sent him like cards and Christmas cards and did really cute things, put things in his pigeonhole at work, when he wasn't doing any of that for me. And so I'd question myself now, is he really worth doing that for right now? Probably not. Not at that point. You know, but I also can see how loving I was and how full of love I was, and how, you know, that kind of, you know, makes me feel really proud of the love that I have to give. And so I have a lot of compassion for myself, and I can really, really see how much, you know, I think what I was doing was I was doing things because really that was what I wanted to receive. Often we give people the love that we want to receive, and then we overgive the love that we want to receive because we're not used to receiving it. And we think by doing it that we'll get it back in return. But really what we need to be doing is being the love that we are, and actually giving that love to ourselves, and then we are the model of how to love us, right? We get to be the love that we wish to receive, not necessarily, you know, outpour all our love so that we can receive it back, because that's kind of manipulative in a way, isn't it? And that's what I was doing. I was giving him love and writing these amazing, creative, beautiful cards and thinking about him in this like really overly loving way, right? When it wasn't, I was thinking, actually, that's what I want. That's what I want, but I didn't know how to give it to myself. So, you know, one of the main things I would tell myself as well is that we've got to do this for us. We've got to love ourselves. I've got to love you. I've got to love you. I've got to show you. You're the priority. You're the most important one. And, you know, this is what I talk about quite a lot. It's what I tell my clients all the time, and, you know, show my clients like how to do this, and hopefully show you guys how to do this on my channel as well, because, you know, it is something that I absolutely was not really doing for myself, and consistently looking outside of myself for that love. And it's not to say that we shouldn't, because on some level, actually, relationships are life, aren't they? You know, we want to have that positive mirror reflection of validation. Actually, we need that. We're human and we need people. But I think it depends where it's coming from. And for me, it was definitely coming from a place of codependency and anxious attachment, and all of my inner child wounding, which I hadn't yet seen. Another thing that I would say to myself is that everything that I was experiencing, everything that I went through, the time apart was so necessary. Like, we needed that. We were not ready at that time. I wasn't ready. I wasn't able to see what I needed to see. I wasn't able to love myself the way that I needed to love myself. I had so many lessons to learn and so many amazing experiences to have on my own. And actually, I would not take those back for the world. But at the time when I was, you know, missing him and wishing that we were together, I wasn't seeing the opportunities that I had in front of me to experience life for myself. And, you know, I lived in Australia. I had another boyfriend. I don't regret having that other boyfriend because that relationship taught me so much. And there were so many things in front of me that were so exciting. And I'm so happy that I got to experience those things on my own. So I would tell myself that this time apart is absolutely necessary. And I guess now I know what I know. I would say to myself, don't worry, because like this is all happening exactly as it should. And you're right about your feelings about him. He is an important person to you. You do have an amazing connection and you've just got to trust the process. I would definitely say that to myself because that was true. And it was hard to see at the time when everybody I loved around me was telling me, forget about him, you deserve better. I mean, they were right. I did deserve better. I did deserve better. And they were trying to protect me and love me and everything. But they were also hoping that I would feel better by just forgetting about him. And I would say to myself, I'd be the one to say, it's okay that you feel how you feel for him. It's okay that you have these feelings for him. And no one can force you to not have them. And you're just gonna have an evolutionary journey. And it's going to be what it is. So I'd give myself that grace to experience whatever the journey was. So later on in my journey, when I became really aware of actually manifesting, the journey of manifesting my specific person, I think began in 2019, 2020, probably, 2020 actually. And I put so much energy into manifesting a specific person. And it's like when you come across the videos of manifesting a specific person, it's like, oh, good, I have an excuse now to use all of my energy to visualize and affirm. And yes, now I can get this person to love me. And it's like you're given an excuse to invest all of your energy into getting rather than giving to yourself, and you're almost given permission to perpetuate that outsourcing of love. And I was definitely doing that. And that's not to say that you can't manifest a specific person, but I think the route to doing it is so much through actually learning how to love yourself and see how worthy you are. And I don't think that I was really transforming myself and my self-concept until I actually saw, oh my God, he cannot fill this void within me. He can't do it. And it's a painful journey to get to that point. But I had to go on the journey, and everyone has to go on whatever journey they go on in order to get there, and it's different for everyone. And there's no cookie cutter prescriptive guide to getting there, because everybody's life is different, everybody's feelings are different, everybody's past is different, everybody's specific person is different. It's so unique for everyone. So I had to do what I had to do personally. And it's the other thing that's really interesting is I just really think that I would tell myself to trust life, because even today with me having this grief that came up, has come up years later. I had a massive cry this morning just before I've recorded this video. And I was thinking about things that happened in 2014. And I was like, oh my God, wow, I've obviously stored this for a really long time. And I would say to myself to trust the process of feeling what I'm feeling and being where I am, and also to trust him as well. Trust the journey is what it's supposed to be. We release our feelings whenever we feel safe to do it. And it's interesting for me that it's happened today now, because I've had more time on my hands. I've been really regulating my emotions. My body's feeling safer. I've been in nature. And so maybe now my body feels safe to release that grief that was there from long ago. Really, I was so sad. I've been so sad so much of the manifesting a specific person journey. It's not easy, is it? I mean, I think sometimes videos on YouTube make it sound like it's this easy thing that you can do. But actually there's a lot. I mean, I don't want it to sound like a limiting belief or something, but actually for me, it actually wasn't easy. It's been really hard. And that's been my experience of it. And actually manifesting is getting easier now because I think I've released so much and I've healed a lot. There's still things, obviously, I mean, we're all always going to be on a journey of understanding ourselves better and growing and experiencing new things and whatever. But like, there's a lot that I can see now that I couldn't see before. So, and also, I guess on a really positive note, I would tell myself, you know, me in Brighton feeling so sad that we weren't together, you're gonna have a baby one day. So that's something I would say now. Obviously that's not the same for like everyone, but I would be able to say that now that I know that. And I would say, you know, everything's okay, everything's gonna work out. Everything is going to be exactly what it's supposed to be, and you don't need to worry or try and control it. Yeah. I would also tell myself, especially during that really intense period of time in Italy, to go out with friends. Like, I was so stuck in my apartment, just thinking about it, manifesting it, like obsessive. I was so obsessive about it. I'm so obsessive about affirmations and things like that. And I would just tell myself to like, go outside and have fun and be creative, which is what I did. Is exactly what I did about 4 months into that really difficult period of time where I was obsessively manifesting, and that actually made my journey so much easier and so much better. And things happened when I did that. That's when I began to change and have fun and learn to trust myself and learn to feel confident with or without him. So I'd say do that sooner. Do that sooner. Go and have fun. I wish I could go back in time and just be the person to just hug myself. Hug me through those really painful times. I wish I could go back in time and just tell myself that everything was going to be okay. I wish I could just absolutely sit and listen to all of those emotions that I felt and let them be there. Be someone to give myself the permission to feel all of it. This is something that I do for myself now, and it's like literally been life-changing. So I'd recommend doing that. Or co-regulation, finding someone who can be that person for you. I really wish that I could have been more self-aware and more my friend when I was going through all of that. I did a lot of shaming myself and a lot of why am I like this and a lot of what did I do wrong. A lot of maybe he's forgotten about me, maybe I'm too much, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that. So many things like that that really made me feel worse. And I wish that I could be there for myself to say, none of that's true. All of that's a lie. And I love you and everything is okay. And you're so worthy. You're so worthy of more, just so much more. And I would really empower myself. I would remind myself how much how proud I am of myself. I would also give myself a lot of compassion for being on that journey and for how much love I have to give as a person and how bloody lucky he is that he is my specific person. That's what I'd say. So I hope you found this video useful. There's probably loads of other things that I would say to myself, but that's the general essence of it. I'm sure lots of you can relate to this. Maybe some of you are where I was. Maybe some of you are coming out of that time and learning to love yourself more. And I hope that my videos have helped you. And if you'd like some one-to-one coaching with me, you can find all the information about that in the description below. My Conscious Creators Masters Academy is now full, so there's no more spaces on this cohort. But I haven't got a plan to do another one this year, but that might change. We'll see what happens. And, you know, maybe it'll be a shorter version because obviously I'm going to have some time off in October. But yeah, I hope you found this video useful and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.